Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Taylor B, with Finance America Mortgage. Hope you're having a great week so far. Sitting down with mark.wingert with Team Jenkins, Remax results off River. So, exciting news, Mark. Just got my offer accepted on my home.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, everyone's telling me that I need to get an inspection, but what is an inspection? And I'm already putting a lot of money down. Is it worth it?
Absolutely. An inspection is an integral part. Even if you're buying new construction, $350 to $500, $600, just to give you that peace of mind that the home you're moving into is objectively safe, things are maintained properly, things are installed properly. So an inspection is just a visual examination of the whole home. So we're gonna walk around the outside. Typically, now this time of year, they're gonna check the roof, they're gonna check inside, outside, upside down, and just make sure everything has been done properly. Even as a first-time home buyer, or if you're moving into a new construction, it's just a good education on your home. It's gonna teach you how to use, maybe you've never lived in a house with a whole home humidifier or an air-to-air exchanger. You know, the inspector has dealt with those things over years and years and years and can give you a great idea of how to use them when you're in the home, what to look out for, and how to maintain those things. So it's important to note that in that inspection period, so the inspector is always going to look to make sure things are installed properly, water heaters are vented properly, just everything is installed properly, that it's maintained. We were just recently in a home and we opened up the air-to-air exchanger, and it's very obvious that the filter hadn't been changed in the last 10 years at least. So things are just maintained. Things are safe, that the wiring going to components in your house isn't going to burn your house down. And generally just that things are performing the way they should. Is your furnace lighting properly? Is your air conditioner cooling as much as it should? Are things at the end of their usable life, or are things well within their operating range? You know, a furnace is 12 to 15 years, but if it's older than 15 years, is it performing as it should? If it's performing, probably fine. The other thing to kind of talk about is timing. How long do you have to get that inspection done? So typically in Minnesota, 7 to 14 days. And in that period, the inspector will come out. It's awesome if you can attend an inspection with them. I know a lot of people have trouble getting that time off from work, but it's really important if you can to attend that inspection, because they are going to teach you how to use the house, and they're going to teach you what things are common, things to worry about, and things that should be taken care of eventually, but aren't difficult to take care of. So once you've had that inspection done, what do you do then? Well, you have a few different options. You can cancel your agreement. Sometimes that happens. I think you've had a few examples recently where your clients have looked at their inspection report and went, ugh. And that happens. Typically, you renegotiate in some sort of way, either with money off the price or closing costs, depending on what needed to be fixed and who wanted to take responsibility to fix it. Or the third way is you just kind of accept it. We just sold one down in Farmington, and that's exactly what the buyers did. They had their inspection done and some things popped up, but they weren't worried about any of them, and they just accepted everything on there.
Can I get them to fix it for me before we close?
Absolutely, that's always an option. So legally, the sellers aren't required to do any fixes. So just because you had the inspection done and it says there's radon in the house, or these things are done improperly or unsafe, the seller's not legally required to do anything about it.
Okay.
They're required to disclose material facts, and a material fact is anything that can affect your use or enjoyment of the home. So something like radon, if they know radon is high, they legally have to disclose that. But they're not legally required to do anything. And if you ask them to fix things, sometimes they fix them poorly. But sometimes it ends up being a much more expensive job. So say you ask them to fix a water spot under the sink, and they said, okay, and they take the damaged spot out under the sink and find that the water's been leaking down the wall and the whole wall needs to be replaced. Well, in that instance, the buyer came out ahead because they're required to fix all that damage as well. But legally, they're not required to do anything. So it's important to note also that there are a few other inspections that people commonly have, depending on the age of home. And your inspector, they have what's called an SOP, a standards of practice. So they contract out to other companies that give them a little bit better deal to have these things done. Things like radon, sewer inspections. I know the inspector we work with used to say on older homes, but now he says it on pretty much any home. If there's big trees around, if there's any sort of concern about the sewer, have a sewer inspection. They run a camera down the line from the house all the way to the road, and just make sure there's no breaks or any trees kind of growing into it. Chimney inspection is a really common one. And the other really big one around this northwest area here is stucco inspections. And for stucco inspections, you need to have an additional agreement done because it is an invasive test. What they do is they go drill about 160 little holes all over different parts of the house to make sure there's no moisture behind that stucco. Because if there's moisture behind there, that means the interior of the house is rotting. So it's really important to know that previous to making that home buying decision.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense, Mark. Thanks for clearing it up. I think the biggest thing you said is it's a big peace of mind. You're moving into your home. It's a big purchase. You're gonna be there for a while, so it's good to have that little peace of mind in your back pocket. So thanks everyone for tuning in. If you have questions or comments, you want us to go over something in particular in the future, please leave it in the comments below, DM us, or we'll just get back to it and keep on rock and rolling. Have a great week now. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.